This is Vintage Story 1.22.0 Pre.3. Today I'm going to have a go at building a water wheel, which we now are able to build. I know it's still work in progress, but I still want to have a look at it. But the first thing I'm going to look at is the type of water we'll need to actually run a watermill. I'm trying something out in that I want to explore the water wheel, which we can now build, though I think it's still work in progress. And I've got some rapidly flowing water. I want to see if I can make my own rapidly flowing stream. Well, it appears I can. So unless that is taken away, we will be able to build streams wherever we want. Wow, listen to that. And look at it. It's fabulous, isn't it? I love the look of that and the sound of that. Now I've got some more water over here. This is the conventional water. And as you can see, I mean, I put this here just to empty a bucket at some stage. Just have it come round a little bit. Can you see? It has a totally different look and a totally different sound. And remember, I have turned my game sounds down, but this looks fabulous. I mean, this looks like it's got the same feel as glacier water to me. It really has. That stream doesn't look terribly deep. I wonder if I could run a water wheel on that. Let me just see if I could perhaps take that block out. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? And then we take that out and that out. Yeah. Looks great. I wonder if there's any limit to how deep for a water wheel. How deep the river has to be. Let's have a quick look in H. Small water wheel. That's the only one we've got at the moment. Let's have a look. Constructing a water wheel is a multi-step process. You will first smith 2 small 4-way hubs. They must be iron or better, and fit them to a regular axle. Okay, yes, like this. Use the 4-way hubs. Wow, that looks complicated. To create the basic water wheel axle block, place that in the world above or beside a fast flowing water. From there, follow the tooltips to build the full wheel around the axle block. Block interaction help must be on. You will need many support beams, boards, nails and strips and resin. All wooden parts must be, of the same type of wood. Interesting. Now, it says water wheels must be placed directly above or next to specifically rapidly flowing water blocks so that the wheel's paddles will be in the water. These rapidly flowing water blocks are in streams created rarely at world generation at higher altitudes, areas generated from game version 1.22 only, of course. Rapid flowing water cannot be placed or created by the player, but with some hillside engineering, you might be able to channel an existing stream. Well, I've just put this block down. Let me get a bucket. I suppose the other thing is, if I pick up a bucket of rapidly flowing water and place it down, which is control I don't think that's the same water. And then let's see if we can find a naturally generated stream of water, because I want to see whether I can actually capture some rapidly moving water. Now we have to, this is rare. That colour indicates to me that that's normal water, not this super rapid water. So let's have a little look round. I am, of course, in creative. I have spent a lot of time in creative. Now, we would want to look at higher altitudes. Aha! Right, if it's at higher altitudes, let's go and have a look, shall we, at that river over there. It's a rainy day. Ugh. And let's see whether at these high altitudes we can find any of this rapid moving water. I mean, I do understand this because I live in England, which is pretty flat. In fact, it's extremely flat. I believe that our highest mountain would only count as a small hill in Norway. So obviously we wouldn't have these cascading streams. It's quite rare to be able to get enough power into hydroelectricity in the UK. We can do it, but it's not like Norway and Canada, where you've got, you know, massive mountains and streams and things like that. So let's have a look further. No, this all looks, we've got to look for this wonderful sort of turquoisey colour. Now I associate that colour with glacier melt, funny enough. Now let's have a look at this. Does that look like rapidly moving water? Let's have a look. It's so hard to tell. That is it. That is definitely what we're looking for. And look, where the stream, let's get rid of that. Where the stream has split. Yeah. Okay, so can we take a bucket of this stuff? Right, what does it say? 10 litres of water. All right, now can we move it? Can we make this into a rapidly moving stream? No. No, it doesn't carry its properties with it. That's just normal water. Wow. And let's have a look at the difference. Let me take another stream here and let's look at water. Now there is rapidly flowing water in creative. I wonder whether it's going to stay there or whether it's just there for test purposes. Yeah, look at the difference. So we take the source block again, put it down, put a block of earth down to just give it a bit of traction, and then we come here. Oh, I used the wrong thing. Right, let's use the bucket. No, you cannot transfer it in a bucket. And look at the difference. Wow. So when you find one of these, you can place a water wheel near it. But I mean, I don't want to build a base here. I really don't want to build a base here. So what I would be looking for, I suppose, yeah, that's ordinary water, is a mountain next to the sea. Okay, let me look on my map. I don't normally pick my, let's go this way. I don't normally pick my bases according to whether they have fast flowing streams. Now, is that rapidly moving? It is not. The colour is not right. We need that gorgeous, gorgeous aquamarine colour. That's not looking good. Wow, look at these streams of water. No. Oh my goodness. So these streams are going to be rare. And this is one. This is one. So if we want to use water wheels, this is what we need to look for. Look at the speed of it and the noise of it. So the big question I have in my mind, which I'm sure will be answered in time or by some of you, and you can see the difference here, look at that, is will we still be able to nip into creative and put a rapidly moving stream, or do we have to build around this? Because obviously if we find a source like this, you know, we can build around it to take the water out like this, to channel it. Whoa. To a certain extent. Fantastic. So that's a quick look at the water we will need for a water wheel. Right, I'm looking at the basics of building a water wheel, and it says it's a multi-step process. You will first smith 2 small 4-way hubs, and this is a 4-way hub. So we're going to need 2 of those, 1 axle and a hammer, but this has to be iron. So that looks pretty good to me. These look like a crafting nightmare. 3 ingots or 2 plates. 3 ingots looks cheaper to me if you get it right. Put it on the anvil, iron anvil, meteoric iron anvil. Yeah, iron anvil, and then you get a 4-way steel hub. So if we need 2 of those, we're going to need 6 iron ingots to do that. Fantastic. One of the annoying things was that if you wanted to use the stone path stairs, they always used to have a gap. Can you see that they've just added these extra pixels here underneath the step so that we now don't have that annoying gap? That is just fantastic. It's a small thing, but it makes such a difference visually. I'm thrilled with that. That's a great 1.22 change. I'm going to start building this water wheel, and I hope it fits here. We will find out the limitations if it doesn't. Now the first thing we need to do is to put the axle, and I have used meteoric iron because I have bought these in from Creative, and we need a hammer here, and this, oh no, oh no, I thought I was going to have a really pretty water wheel. Right, that is the first hub. Now if you look at the top of my screen, it says construction step 0.6, and then in the middle of the screen, can you see it just above my cursor here? It says we need 16 beams. Okay, so let's go and grab, I think we need 32 in all, but let's start with 16. So construction step, so if we right click on here, oh, look at that. Right, construction step 1.6. This is very much like the boats. What do we need next? We need 48 planks and 4 resin. Okay. So let's get, I'm not going to count them out. And resin. So we actually need, as it says, 48 planks, 4 resin, planks, and it's taken the planks and the resin at one time. Oh my word, look at that. Right. Oh, go and read the instructions. Right. So we've done the second step. So we've now got 16 beams and 4 resin. We have these in our hand. Wow, look at that. Let's go back to our instructions. We've done step 3, 8 nails and strips. Right. Okay. And none of this has come out in meteoric iron. So we just right click again. Oh my word. Oh, I love the iron brackets. Look at that, they're already rusting a bit too. Right, I think that's all for the nails and strips. Now, what's the next step? 48 planks and 4 resin. I needed those planks that I've just put away. So 48 planks and 4 resin. Right click. Good. Oh my word. And that is our water wheel. Now, have I got it positioned correctly? Will it work? Because it says on the instructions, we've done that, we just have to launch it, which is just right click. Oh, oh, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, and look, it changes. Once the water wheel has taken the power out of the water, it changes to ordinary water. Wow. And I'm fascinated by the way it works, that the water goes under the wheel. I mean, you can have water wheels that go where the water goes under the wheel, and those are actually very common in the UK. In the old mills, but you can also have the source up here that goes over the top. I think in Vintage Story this is it. Now it says suitable power source blocks nearby 3. Right, let's have a quick look. What is a power source block? Block. Power source block. Lock and tackle. I'm not sure what I understand by that. Right, let's build out a bit from here. Oh. Can I attach an axle? I can. Now the next question is, can I stop this with a brake? No. It's one thing to get it going, but now if I put, yeah, this isn't going to hurt me, because if I put soil, can I use soil as a brake? Because we know that if I don't get this right, I can redo that. Where would I put it if I wanted to stop this? Wow, it's slowing down. Or is it? Yes, it is. Wow, the inertia kept that going for some time. Now, the $64,000 question is, if I break this block, will it go back? Yes, it will. Excellent. So we have a built-in brake. Thank God for that, because the noise is driving me crazy. Okay, so we can attach an axle to it. We can attach a brake to it. Wow. Suitable power source blocks. Oh, that's the travertine rock. Okay. Wow. And also, when we blocked the stream, did you notice it blocked this noise? And that's very helpful. Are you going to stop me? Wow. But eventually we can stop it. Wow! Because I know many of you are sensitive to noise, I'm really grateful to have found that out. Oh, the relief when all that noise stops. Now I know how you feel when I was using too much noise. My goodness. Well, my friends, we have managed to build and get going, and more importantly, stop a water wheel. Gosh, that's great. That is just fantastic. I'm loving that. I still think it's work in progress, but that is wonderful. Now, a couple more points about this, and that is that we had to build this all from the same wood. I used bald cypress in the hope that I would get a pretty coloured water wheel, and I used, whoa, I'm in the drink, I used meteoric iron in the hope I would get a really snazzy looking water wheel. I think this is what you get, guys. You can use, in future I would use basic iron and oak, because there's no point in wasting snazzy gear on something that's going to look the same whatever you do with it. And I'm not unhappy about that. I am very, very glad to have found that out. So I'm fine with that. The other thing is that you do need iron. You can't build this thing until you've got iron. The windmills, you can build basic windmills, not this big beast of a windmill, but you can build the basic windmills without iron. But this one, you have to have the iron. So, I mean, I think this is really great to have this. I do. I think it's going to depend on whether this ability to put in this fast moving water will remain in creative, or whether once they've sorted out the world gen, they will then take it out of a creative option, so that we can't just nip into creative, put it where we want it, like I did, and then come out of it. I think gathering the materials for this, particularly the iron, is the complicated bit, but once you've got that, you have a water wheel. Another point I would like to make is that I made this water wheel happily out of bald cypress. Now, bald cypress is one of the softer woods. I had assumed that we would be able to make the water wheels out of any wood, and that assumption was correct. I don't know whether it will stay that way. Logically, I would have thought that one would have used the harder woods, but it's still work in progress. Let's see what happens in the future. I'm very happy with the progress to date. Well, my friends, apart from the difficulty of finding rapidly moving water if one is on a server, I think that's pretty good news. Now, there are some people who will never ever go into creative if they're in a single player world, and I sympathise with that view because I don't often use it, but it might remain an option in a single player world, that we could pop into creative and use the rapidly flowing water where we want, as I've done today. I don't see how some of the builders, such as the Better Builds team, will be able to produce their creations unless they have that option. This is all work in progress. I have thoroughly enjoyed this today, and I hope you do too. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a like and maybe consider subscribing to me. Thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.